Good. Thank you so much for doing this. So first of all, to everyone who's been watching the iTry feed all day, I just want to introduce myself. I'm giving Teresa Roden a little break. I'm Jennifer Folks. I'm the Development and Events Manager here at iTry, and I am so happy to be on Instagram Live right now with Katie Zaferes, who is an Olympian, a professional triathlete, and world champion triathlete. So Katie, I first want to thank you so much for being with us today. We couldn't be more thrilled to be here with you. And I just have to say a little bit, on a personal level, I'm a little bit of a fangirl. I've been watching your travels across Europe. Right now you're doing some professional races, which is so exciting. And I just want to explain a little bit how we got involved with you. So one of iTry's biggest and most important partners, our technology partner, is Polar. And Katie has been working with them, and they made the introduction to us last spring during COVID. And Katie has been amazing and working with our iTry girls all last season. She met with them, she mentored them, she helped them through their virtual triathlon at the end of the season. And today, I would love for Katie to kind of tell our iTry listeners a little bit about her and her life and how she got involved with triathlon, and about how she has managed to keep herself going through this crazy year of disappointment and the resiliency that it takes to be that person. So Katie, welcome. I'll stop talking, and I'm going to let you answer those questions.
A little bit about her and her life and how she got involved with triathlon, and about how she has managed to keep herself going through this crazy year of disappointment and the resiliency that it takes to be that person. So, Katie, welcome. I'll stop talking, and I'm going to let you answer those questions.
Yeah, so I mean, I got involved in triathlon a lot later in my life. I'm not as lucky as these girls who are getting it at a lot younger of an age, but I grew up just doing a ton of different sports. My parents just got me involved in anything that I was interested in and things that I didn't even know if I was interested in. So I was doing softball, lacrosse, soccer, basketball, dancing, um, swimming, and then eventually running. And I am really happy that I had such variety, and I think it all led to the athlete that I am today. But ultimately, I ended up going to Syracuse University, where I ran Division 1, and then but I still had a background in swimming, and USA Triathlon. They found me and they said, "Oh, you might be pretty good at triathlon," which I'd done like a couple with my dad. I did my first one on Father's Day, but I never saw myself doing it professionally. I never saw myself being an Olympian in triathlon until basically after college. So it was a really cool kind of whirlwind, and I was given a lot of opportunities, and the timing was very good, which is all things I'm very thankful for. But that's kind of how I got involved in triathlon.
That's awesome. And it's funny you say you got interested in triathlon kind of later in life. That's after college is still not late in life. I did my first triathlon when I was 50, and I did a sprint triathlon. So it's impressive to me to see you doing it, professionally and doing it so young. I think, I'm a little bit older than you, but I think that professional triathlon wasn't even really a thing probably when I was in college, at least for women. So um, yeah, I don't know much about the history of professional triathlon, but it would be great if you know anything about that to kind of touch on that for a sec.
Well, you're putting me on the spot here. Um,
You don't have to go there.
it became an Olympic sport. I'm pretty sure someone can maybe fact check me, but I think Athens in 2000.
Right.
Um, that was the first. That was the first time that triathlon participated
Wow.
in the Olympics. So
So 20 years ago.
relatively new.
Yeah, that's pretty recent. That's pretty interesting. And then you have been to the Olympics, and you are hoping to go again to the Olympics. You were going to go this past year, and I know you were training and training and training your butt off. And then, of course, the world kind of fell apart in March. So your second Olympic dreams have kind of been put on hold. Are you back in training again for the Olympics for 2021?
Yeah, so this year definitely, as everybody knows and has experienced, has been different than what might have been expected in January. I know
Yeah,
for me, I'm a planner, so I write out all my goals at the beginning of every year, and for me, it's just been a lot of scratch marks and
right,
erases
right. I think, yeah,
and
we've
new
all
goals.
experienced that.
But so this year was a bit different, and it's all been thinking of for next year and hoping that there is a Tokyo 2021, and really going after that. But I think also for me, like we've been very lucky, and we've had a bit of international racing return. It wasn't necessarily what we anticipated doing, but we're lucky that races have been put on and we've been able to do it.
Yeah,
um, and I think for me, I struggled a bit because I had all these big plans for like another world championship and another like, going to the Olympics. And when that changed, it was hard for me to adapt my mindset and learn how to put myself in the same position when we're staying with my mom and dad in Maryland,
yeah,
not in like the high performance environment that I usually put myself in. And that was really challenging for me to like figure out the way to train the best and properly and still manage the mental energy and that side of things. So I think the best part about this year was that I learned, well, I made mistakes with it, but I also learned for next year.
yeah,
I know we're all hoping 2021 is very different, but I also have in my head that it might not be normal, and that this year has taught me a lot of, okay, like even if it's not normal, what can I do to make sure that my I still have a purpose, I still have a drive and a motivation to do what I do in sport and as a
yeah.
person.
So I know we've spoken about this before, and I know you touched upon this with girls. With the girls, it's kind of the mental training. So you were prepared to train your hardest and complete a goal in July of 2020, and then that goal got pushed out by a year. How do you as an athlete and a woman, um, how do you keep
I am able to like check off my boxes and stay true to my process and stay engaged with the training and with everything. And for me, I've realized that has a lot to do with my environment that I put myself in. Like being with my parents was really hard because it's not my normal uh, routines, and it just takes my brain away from triathlon a bit, which is, it has its bonuses, right? It was amazing to get to spend that extra time with
yeah,
family, my nephews, and that's something that I really, really loved. But also for triathlon, it definitely took a little bit away from for me. But then
yeah,
as soon as I was able to find, like, we went to a training camp and put ourselves in an environment with another training partner and other training partners. And as soon as I did that, I'm like, this is what I do. Like,
yeah? Oh
and
yeah,
so like,
this is why I'm here, right?
yeah, and just like realizing like nutrition and just talking to my sports psych, like those are all important things that as long as I stay engaged with, like I still need to be on for all of those things, even when it feels like everything's disrupted. Like it doesn't
Right,
really have to, not everything has to be disrupted.
right. I'm sorry, we've got a little bit of background noise here. We're saying goodbye to Kathleen. And Katie, I just wanted to ask you quickly if you could maybe reflect for a minute. You said you did a lot of sports growing up. Um, if you had had a program like I Try when you were growing up, would it have made a difference? You seem like a very focused young woman anyway. But how do you feel about the empowerment piece of I Try being so important to middle school girls, especially?
Oh, I mean, I try. It's just, I think it's amazing to not just have the sport aspect of it, but to really be teaching girls like the mental component of things, and not not necessarily in a specific to sport, but just how you handle different emotions, how you
Right.
can accept them, how like with different people. And I think just talking about all those things and having movement and physical activity and triathlon be a part of it, like, yes, it's so important, but
Yeah.
I learning those mental skills, like I forget, I didn't think about that until much later in my life. Like I just kind of thought like, oh, if I need help with mental skills, like that means I'm like a weak person. But then I realized like, no, like it's the opposite. It makes me
You need it,
stronger.
right?
It
You
makes
need
me
it
a better
more
person.
to stay, to stay focused, you stay healthy. You kind of need the mental health piece of it.
Yeah.
I think we need to focus on that more.
Yeah, so I love that you're empowering girls to do that from such a young age and just to own who they are and know that those different emotions that are okay. And then like, okay, well, how do we get the most out of you? And you guys are doing that. And I think that's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Katie, we're going to ask our viewers, and if you wouldn't mind asking your viewers as well, today is such an important day for iTry. Today is the day that we're going to raise $200,000 for our program, and we're more than halfway there, and we couldn't be doing it without everyone's help. But if you're watching us now, and if you're watching us on Katie's feed or iTry's feed, please consider making a donation to us today. You can text to give. It's if you text 44321, text what if 2020 to 44321, or you can donate on our website itrygirls.org. And Katie, I cannot thank you enough for being a part of our program this year. We really look forward to seeing you in person, and I can't wait to watch you in the Olympics next year.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. And yes, I reiterate everything that Jen just said. I mean, iTry Girls is just doing such a great thing for their community of young girls, young women, and really helping them to just be great humans and be the best versions of themselves.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks so much. Enjoy
Bye.
your
Have a good day.
Take care.